everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on issue 1 of Flash, New 52 comic review. Now, as you know, The Flash, much like other DC titles, was meant to be a renumbering and a kind of going back to the start with the New 52, which had the Rogues having superpowers, a new Reverse Flash, a new Kid Flash, and also meant to kind of do something different with the story. And the cover has Barry Allen racing towards the cover in a kind of cool style. And it starts off how at a big kind of central city like presentation area, you see Barry and Patty saying, "I'm only kidding, I know this was a big step for you." And so pretty much in the early issues, you can tell Barry and Patty are meant to slowly start off, which makes sense, as this does remind me of Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy. And they have a look at a kind of model rail train, which is running on a special kind of energy. And even Patty says, if they want to improve traffic, why not finish the downtown freeway? And so you're introduced to Dr. Elias, who is meant to be the New 52 version of Professor Wells from the Flash TV series, and after the Reverse Flash story, you never do see him again. And pretty much he talks about, improving the traffic and everything else, but ends up getting attacked by a group of terrorists saying, "Good night, kids. Time to sleep. Everyone get down." And so Barry finds cover and becomes the Flash. And the difference is that, unlike in the original continuity, this one, his costume is all armoured parts and that, which is actually not a bad idea, and goes into action. And so they pretty much say, "You got it? Me? Crap!" And so Barry tries to go after them, which they have a genome recorder. Just as Barry's about to get to them, he ends up getting one of the guys and the genome recorder and ends up falling down and quickly throws the guy aside, which he could have just basically kept him with him, and tries to vibrate through the sewer system, but ends badly. And so Iris West shows up to talk with Barry, or the Flash, and says, "Yep, just like I planned it." And so pretty much the Flash gives Dr. Elias the genome recorder, and you can tell Patty's a little bit pissed at Barry, and they go in to kind of do a kind of like analyst at the crime scene, and turns out the person died on impact, and that it turns out that this guy is meant to be Miguel, Barry Allen's friend. And back in their college days, Miguel was a bit of a troublemaker, and Barry Allen was kind of caught in the sidelines. And so after Iris tries to get an interview in that, Patty kind of pushes Barry aside, and you can tell she clearly dislikes him, saying, she comes on a little strong, doesn't she? And you can tell she knows that she's hitting on him. And so you've got Director Smith saying, "I needed that report in my hand yesterday, so the solution is to stand over me and start yelling." And so you've pretty much got Captain Frey, who is meant to be Barry Allen's adopted father, who kind of calls him out on, his incompetence in that, and you can tell they clearly both don't like each other. And Barry even starts remembering everything about, basically, his time with Miguel back in their college days, and even Dr. Elias tries to say, "Look, this wasn't your fault, I've got the recordings and that." So Barry wants to do some checking, and so after pretty much checking the genome recorder, which he asked Dr. Elias and how he got these powers, and after doing more and more investigating, he ends up basically confronting the guy who got into his house, which turns out it's Miguel, and he's wondering what's going on. And so they quickly make a break for it. And he wonders if this is because he's tried to hit on someone's someone's wife, and so they have to quickly make a break for it. So Barry has to try and quickly make it look like he tripped, and pretty much Barry uses his ring to become the Flash again, and just as he gets there, he ends up seeing a lot of Miguel's, and he even points out during the introduction, how Miguel made his mistakes, and how Barry was always there trying to fix them. And yeah, this is the story. I would say issue 1 does build up an interesting story, and it does imply Dr. Lilas was going to be the New 52 version of Harrison Wells. And I would say they do imply that, yeah, Barry Allen has started out also. And I do admit it would have been interesting to kind of still have Barry talk about Flashpoint in that. But I get the issue implies that all the memories of it is now gone. So I think the issue deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.